Welcome to Bus Driver Life. My name is Keywan. I am a bus driver in Sacramento, California. So you can see that really dramatic footage of the train pretty much splitting the transit bus, or the public transport bus, in half. That situation was reported on October 17th, 2022. It happened in the Netherlands, and according to the reports, there were no injuries on the bus because there was no passengers on the bus, and there were no injuries on the train, but of course it was a very traumatic experience for the bus driver as well as the train operator. So that's a really scary situation to watch, and it actually reminds me of something that I dealt with. Well, I didn't deal with anything like that whatsoever, but it does involve a railroad crossing. And in most cases, bus drivers, we have to stop at railroad crossings and we have to check and make sure it's safe before we proceed. There's a whole procedure that we have to do. And on this particular day, I was approaching a railroad crossing, and the street that I was on was a pretty busy street, lots of traffic on that street. And the car behind me, I guess the driver, was really upset at me for stopping my bus at a railroad crossing. So they just started laying into the horn like non-stop. So as I started to proceed through the railroad crossing, because it was clear, the person drove around on my left side and kind of slowed down on the side of me, and they continued to lay into their horn. They were really upset that my public transit vehicle stopped at a railroad crossing. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but they were really upset and they voiced their frustration by blowing their horn at me. So this is a person that's fine with me risking everyone's lives on my bus, including my own, just so that I can get out of their way. My advice to you is just don't be behind a bus if you can help it. I know sometimes you really have no choice, but if you can help it, don't get behind a bus, especially if it's about to go through a railroad crossing. They're probably gonna have to stop before they proceed through. And we see in this video what can happen, what can potentially happen if a bus ends up on the tracks as a train is approaching. But I'm pretty sure that person that I personally dealt with that was laying into their horn, they wouldn't care. So to all the motorists out there, when you're dealing with public transit buses on the road, just be a little bit more patient. We're driving a large vehicle, and remember, we have people on the vehicle, so we're gonna be moving a little slower. There are certain procedures that we have to do that you don't have to do, and I do understand that it can slow you down and cause an inconvenience, but you laying into your horn is not gonna change anything. If you want buses to no longer stop at railroad crossings, you need to talk to your elected officials to see if they can abolish the railroad crossing procedure for all buses. Until then, we're not gonna just be blowing through railroad crossings. Well, some drivers do, like this one right here. But in most cases, we're not gonna be going through railroad crossings. That can get us into a lot of trouble. We can lose our license or have it suspended for a while. Therefore, we can't make money driving the bus.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Have to find another job. Pretty sure some bus drivers probably do want to find another job.
This is a stressful job!
But if you're not planning on it, and you have to do that as a result of you blowing through a railroad crossing or folding under pressure of someone that's laying on their horn, and you just keep going through the railroad crossing without doing a procedure, then yeah, that can cause some problems for the driver. And the person who's blowing their horn will just continue blowing their horn at people. But yeah, let me know what you think about the situation with the train versus the bus. And let me know what you think about my personal situation where I had to stop at a railroad crossing and someone was blowing their horn at me. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, and thank you for watching Bus Driver Life.